You look like a real scruffy airline pilot.
Oh, yeah.
You look like someone that's diving, like going into the jungle,
One of the Vietnam vets.
running cocaine.
What's that movie with Tom Cruise? That one?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's like with
The CIA. You worked for the CIA.
he gets done. Oh yeah, I won't give it away, but
Yeah.
we've all seen it.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Jason Toby movie reviews.
How's the sound?
Yeah, good.
Good?
Good, mate.
Yeah, all good?
We can hear.
You can hear? Beautiful.
Worst lead into a show ever.
Yeah, I know. Welcome to In the Green Room, episode 13.
Come on, give it its justice. It's the
13.
grand final edition.
Grand final edition.
Come on.
Grand final edition of In the Green Room, episode 13. Unlucky 13.
My
Lucky
favourite
13.
number,
Your favourite number?
Favourite
We're going to have to do another one after this for the superstitious people out there.
Yeah, we will.
With us today, you can probably tell who we have on the screen, from Malibu to Merewether and Mayfield in between. Jason Toby, club legend.
Hey guys, how are you?
Played in a couple of first-grade grand finals and
One for the club, not many actually. I didn't win many, but played in a few of them. So hopefully the boys tomorrow turn it around and get a win.
Yeah.
And obviously this weekend is special to your heart because you normally are one of the last men standing back in your playing days as well. You were there and thereabouts.
I had to hang around as long as I could, even when I was coach. I think that's why I coached for so long too, so I got to hang around for these 3 days as well. So it was always a good time, always a good celebration, because most of the club were usually hanging around in the the end of season games, and at least we had 1 or 2 in the grand final at least of the grades, like tomorrow. So yeah, it's always a fun day, and it's good I think that the club all hold off their celebrations until the end of the year, and we can all do it together rather than do it staggered. So yeah, it's good.
Well, I don't know, I've been knocked out in second or in first grade, and I think I went every Monday into semis.
Yeah, that's good. That's that's a good thing. But as long as you don't stop, keep it going, and everyone's here for that last weekend, it's good.
Yeah. What do the boys say? Settle then lift.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was a motto. Yeah.
Well, we got knocked out in 4th grade. Finished a couple of weeks ago. We got knocked out, and we held off.
You haven't shaved since.
I haven't shaved since. No, all cut my hair.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, let's get to you, Jason. You grew up Malibu way out in the peninsula.
Yeah, Tanuma Bay. Yeah.
Itgr Peninsula, not to be confused with Tomaroopa Peninsula.
That's correct. Yeah.
The better part of the peninsula. What brought you here?
How did I get here? Well, I had a rugby background. I played rugby with Itgr Tigers. They had a rugby side up there. Rugby was the only thing in that area at the time when Mum and Dad moved up. I was born in Newcastle, moved up there at about, I think I was about 2. So from then till 20, I lived there. And then, Itgr Tigers, the rugby was the only thing up there. So Dad got me into the rugby, and I played that till I was 14, and then league started up there. Rugby died, and then the Panthers, the mighty Malibu Panthers started. So I played with them until I came to the Greens. So the reason I came to the Greens, I went on an end of season trip with them. They played a rugby tournament, and Bagsy was coaching, and it was 92, end of the season, and they were the Newcastle side that got picked to go and play up in Dubbo against all these other regions. Yeah. So Matty Russell was the reason I'm at the club. He's my cousin, and he was playing here as well. So he just said, "Look, do you want to come away for a weekend?" So I said, yeah. They were short of numbers, so I just came to the Burwood for the first time I'd ever been to the Burwood, and jumped on a bus to Dubbo with the older crew then too. It was George Tuntevsky and Link, and those guys were all playing Shorey. First time I met Shorey and Ed and Sharky, and we went up there for a wild weekend in Dubbo. I think we made the final and got beat by 1 million by Carryong. I think it might have been all the inmates at that stage. But yeah, we.
So you used to have the field on the bloody penal column.
I think they did up there. Yeah. Well, they were pretty handy because I think we led 7-0 and got beat 70-7 or something. So we started like a house on fire, and then they got us. But it was rugby. Regardless of the rugby, it was just a good weekend, and I had a good time with them all. And then I ended up going back and having one more year up in league with Malabula, and came back the year after that. So but that was my introduction. So Matty Russell's probably one that got me here.
Yeah, right. Not many people would say that Matty Russell's done something.
Well, I know. He's
a big fan of the show.
Oh, massive, and vocal too. So he had to get a shout out early. He asked for a shout out early, so you got that, Matty. So yeah, that's right. No, good fun.
Do you remember your first game?
Yeah, I do. I played 3rd grade against Wanderers. We had round 1 here at Townsend against Wanderers, and I got picked in 3rd grade and played 5'8" in that game, and I marked and I know him now. I didn't know him at the time, but Bozo McCanch.
Oh, yeah.
He was probably he was going down the grades that stage as well. And he I just looked across and went, how big is this? How big is this 10 I'm marking here? I'm a twig, and he's a massive unit. And I'm pretty sure we got him that day. But yeah, that was my first. Yeah, that was good. Like, I obviously had a few trials, but that was my first actual club game, and having it here against Wanderers in round one
was it here?
Pretty special. Yeah, it was here.
Yeah,
No, it was here. Yeah, it was here. Yeah, so that was memorable.
Yeah, cool. How'd you go your first game?
Yeah, I think we won.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we won. I don't know. Well, I didn't play second grade. I went to ones from three, so that was handy. So it must have been all right. But Gourley gave me a crack up there, I think a week or two later. So yeah, it was I think it was all right, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And so when you came into first grade, what was your position? Wing or fullback or centres?
Centre. My first grade debut was at 10 against Singleton.
Yeah.
At Singleton. Yeah, and
that was a
that was a result. I think they might have got us by 30, and I think I was 10 and Jacko was 15, and I think they worked that out pretty quickly that we probably should swap that around. So I was a 10 there. But that first year I played too. When I eventually got to first grade, I moved around a bit. Like Jono and I played in the Wayne Johnson. I played in the centres a bit. I played fullback. I played 10. But then by the end of the year, fullback was sort of earmarked as my spot. So
cool.
Ended up there.
A couple of good seasons with that squad as well, making grand finals, and we've spoken about it a few times on here.
Yeah, you've had Monk and Camo and all that on, and it was a really good crew. Like not much success for that crew, but I mean, it was. I think the club we'd had a few lean years since '89, and I think we got here at '94, and it coincided with Jacko and myself and Matty Russell and Jono and blokes like that coming over. So we had a pretty handy backline, including Monkey and Dalbs and Chipper and blokes like that, and Shorey as well. So it was, I think it was just sort of like the stars aligned, and we ended up with a pretty good side. And our forwards were copped a lot of flack, but they were still pretty handy too, and probably didn't like us as much because we'd try and score off everything as soon as we got it. So there wasn't much patience there, but and we were still learning the game too at that stage. We were all pretty green. I played it as a junior, but not much since then. So, but look, it was good fun.
And tell us about. There's a song that you bought that I've been told that you're the reason that this song came to the club, or one of the first bus trips that you went on.
Yeah, look, and we have to probably let everyone know that we actually got this from a university guy. Yep. This song. We'd gone away to a touch footy tournament in Dubbo one year, and we had a guy playing with us, Steve Arnold, his name was. He played for uni years ago, and he said, "Oh, I've got this song," and it probably we needed songs to sing on the way back from Dubbo. Long way. You need songs, and American Pie doesn't go that long. Long, but not that long. So he taught us this song, and because Jacko, Matty Russell, Jono, and myself were all on that bus, and we played here. We thought, well, that gives us another song. Like, we love the Green song, but it goes for 10, 15 seconds. Yeah. So let's get something else to sing as well. So Uni had not, that era of those guys was Steve Arnold had moved on, so they weren't playing, so they weren't singing it. So we said, oh, this will work for us. So that's why. So I can't take the credit for inventing it, Pug, but we did bring it here. And we've made it our own now. No one else sings it.
It's one of the best, and it is one of the best. And
I think so. Yeah.
I do remember a time when we sang it that much that they had to tell us to stop singing. Yeah. Because
I don't think we're allowed to sing it at the forward anymore.
Yeah, because there's obviously some words that
crazy.
Yeah, you can't say. But and I noticed they've tweaked it a little bit too, because a few of the words they've taken a few out, and the kids have made it. They've shortened it today.
Have they?
Yeah, they've a few little things that they've taken out. But look, it's the same song, but let them go.
Let them have it.
Let them run with it.
That's good. And so in between that time as well, you had a little stint over at Mayfield. What made you get over there?
Yeah. I went over there. When was that? I think it was 99. Yeah. I might have gone over there. Look, Gaz Considine and my family, before we moved to the Bay, Mum grew up in Mayfield and Dad grew up in Maryville, so they were from that area. Gaz was hounding me to come and have a run. It's not that I think all my mates were here and that, but I just think I got a bit stale as well. I had an injury in '96 or '97. It's a bad facial injury that sort of wasn't sort of the player I was, and I had a bit of confidence. The confidence was down a bit, so I just think I needed a bit of a change, and I did that for a year. Another grand final we lost. Maitland beat us in that one. We made a grand final with East, but I came straight back. I loved it. The blokes were unreal. It was a good time, but I didn't really fit.
And your other cousin was playing there too.
Yeah, Luke. Yeah, Matt's brother. Luke was over there with me as well. So yeah, that's right. So Luke, he was another reason too. Like, I hadn't played much with him, so I played a lot of my career with Matt. So I went over there as well and had that year. And like I said, I came straight back the next year, and they won that year. So there's the common denominator.
Yeah.
I took off. They beat Wanderers the following year. So and I think we ran 6th or 7th. So but look, at the end of the day, I stand by that decision to come back because I had so much of a good time here. This is my club. It was my club, and that was just something Gaz asked me to do, and I did it. And yeah, it's done. Can't change it.
Yeah, no, that's something. Power to you. I mean, I played for Waratah, probably anyway.
So end up back here, and
Did you come back and play first grade after that?
Yeah. I came straight back into ones. I played first grade here until about 2003, I think, and then back into 2003, I ended up playing seconds.
Yeah,
that's the year we won. Yeah, we won seconds. We had a good side.
Who was in that side?
It was a good team. I got dropped to first grade that year.
You got dropped to first grade?
That was the year, wasn't it? People would get dropped.
I don't know. Well, Hawley went up for me, so I always thank him when I see him. Thanks, mate. Didn't get many premierships here, so I got that one off him. So yeah, Gawley took Hawley up, and I went back down, and we had Nick Lesberg, who ended up being a country player. Price, he played with us. Nathan Goodwin, Brent Aglin,
Tristan Cady.
No, Tristan wasn't there yet.
Williams.
No, Mick Williams was on one wing. Pat Daly. Yep.
Oh, Pat Daly.
And
Rousey.
Yep, Rousey was half. Yeah. And the forwards were, I think we had the chef, Toddy Jeffrey, the chef. One of the Carges was Hooker.
Is that the photo where you're all in the back? I've got a photo at home. The team photo. You're all in someone's backyard.
Oh, it could be, mate.
Joe's wearing a hat backwards. He's wearing his.
Yeah, Joe was probably in the photo.
He was in the team.
But I don't think he didn't play
first grade that.
He played a bit of first grade, maybe first or third that year, but he wasn't. I don't think he was in that team. But
because I'll always remember we packed in a scrum at May East, and he was knocked out, and he went and packed in the wrong into the May East side. What? Yeah.
I tell a good story with Jade, and he won't mind me saying it now because we have a laugh about it all the time. The year I played with East, we played the Greens here, and I think we won by a bit. In the end of the game, we're shaking hands, and I shook hands with Blocker and said, "Oh, mate, when did you come on?" He goes, "Oh, I kicked. I started." So I felt bad. I didn't even see him out there, but we have a giggle about that all the time.
Well, he's a type forward. He's doing his job.
That's exactly right. I said, think of it as a positive, mate. If I haven't seen you, you've been killing it. You're in the thick of it.
Yeah, then coming back, you obviously with that 2002, and then you drop down the grades a little bit, and good. I regard you as one of the best clubmen that has been in the club that I've experienced. Your open arms kind of thing. Maybe that comes from coming from Malibu and coming in here. Yeah. But there's been some crazy nights that you've been involved with, like balls and reunions and all that. So
they usually end up with me.
The 100 year was pretty good. I'll never forget the one we had. We had one at Club Phoenix for some reason. Remember that one?
I do. Yeah. Not much of it, but I remember we had some obscure venues like that at times. Yeah. But they were all good fun too, and they usually ended up with me having too many beers and getting on the microphone at the end of the night.
Singing. What's the song? What's he go to?
That one was probably a Paul Simon one.
Yeah,
Call Me Out. That was. Look, it was American Pie when I got here, and that was just too long. I was doing my head in. It was going too long.
Something else.
Every verse, and I tried to cut it down. They go, "You missed a verse." So everyone knew it. But yeah, mate, I've sort of tried to stop doing that as I'm older now. To start singing songs.
Diamonds on the soles of her shoes?
No. It was You Can Call Me Out.
I knew it was one of them.
I've seen you do that at the Burwood.
You're not alone there, mate. More than once, but I used to get into a little bit of that.
And then you went from. Sorry.
There you go.
I was going to talk about what was it? The divisional. Well, you dropped down 4th grade. Was it the grand final? Mick Edwards, you, and someone else. He said
it was 4th grade, but because they didn't have a 4th grade at the time.
Because we had to play divisional, so we had to play like games at Muswellbrook and places like that, and that was good fun because for me, I know you have the club's pretty tight, but you don't get to play with a lot of those guys, and whilst you're on the other night. Like, I haven't played much footy with Walshy, and that was good. Blokes that I hadn't played much footy with, and it was really good to go down there and play with those, because it was a good mix of us old fellas and a couple of young guys who would come up from Colts and
so for instance, injured players coming back
as well. Yeah, so it was for me. It was really good fun, and look, it probably gave you a few more bus trips than the first division mob did, or the Premier sides comp did, because you really only had Singer, occasionally a Bay one.
And you got to remember those teams as well. Musselbrook and Scone, that was their first grade team, so they were tough, right?
They definitely were.
What's his name from Scone that went on and played the Waratahs?
Josh Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff.
They were. Yeah, no, they were handy, definitely. Like so, I think people underestimate how good the club performed in that, because our third and fourth grades, they were our third and fourth best teams, obviously, and as the grades are picked, and they were competing with pretty handy Musselbrook and
it was good for me going up there, because I grew up Group 21 playing up there, so a lot of those guys have switched over to rugby, like Johnny Marco, a lot of those Musselbrook guys, and they were tough football players.
Mate, there was always that Highbrook Park or whatever. Is that what it's called? That was horrible.
That's Musselbrook. That's Musselbrook.
Yeah. Lovely hosts, mate. Yeah, that's them. Yeah, lovely hosts. Like, they'd put a big feed on for you after, look after you and everything.
That's what we
just playing there. Be like, I think they named it the Graveyard too. They self-proclaimed the Graveyard. Yeah.
We played there once, and I think there was no less than 5 spear tackles in the game. I think guys were just coming off, just injured everywhere.
Because it's a hard ground as well. Just the westerly wind, the cold.
Mate, just second guess your reasons to drop down the grade that far, to tell you the truth.
I was playing out in the centres. That's how we were struggling for numbers.
Well, that was the beauty of fourth grade. You had blokes doing that too, and that was a time when Frankie and Al Chapman and those blokes, is it Don Brown, I think? Yeah, they all turned up. All those English guys, turned up. And it was for me, it was just, I was keen to just enjoy my rugby and have a bit of fun down doing that. And I had a young family at the time too, so it was just easier for me rather than trying to prepare for it. Yeah, that's right.
But you won the comp that year, didn't you?
I think we lost. I think we lost in 05 against Wanderers, and then won in 06. Yeah.
Right. So the Wanderers have a side as well in that.
Wanderers did. Us and Wanderers. I don't know if there's anyone else, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we definitely always did, because they did the same thing as us. They had their 2 grades playing down there as well.
Yeah, right.
Maybe even uni. Yeah. Uni at that stage had 4 too. Right. So.
And so what year did you win? 05? 04?
Oh, so it was 03 with 2s, and then 06, I think it was, with 4s. And like I said, been here for how long? 20 odd years, and they're the only 2 that I've won. I've lost probably about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But they're hard to get. Like, these kids now, when I started coaching with Munzer and that, and they were just a good team, and they were always thereabouts. And the culture since then has been like, it's a winning culture. So we had some pretty lean years here.
That's what I was going to ask. You started coaching, and what got you into that, and who got you into that?
Well, that was Munzer just gave me a call out of the blue, just to say, look, he's back with the club, and I didn't know Tony at the time, and he was just looking for a former first grader to help him out with the backs. Yeah. And I might have done a little bit, and I think it might have been the stuff from fourth grade when I played. I was helping Doc out and stuff like that, and I'd done a bit with seconds with Roachy. I think too.
You'd done a bit of the seconds.
Yeah, I probably did, mate. It's all a blur, but and that's Munzer just asked if I'd get involved with that, and so from then, I did those 3 years with him, and and that was great fun. Look, that to me, those 3 years, even though we come out of it with no premierships, but it was probably the most enjoyable time at the club.
With you guys,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that was awesome. Unreal, mate. And I like I said, you have a lot of fun playing, and your playing memories are the best. But that came pretty close. That was good fun. We just had a really good group of guys. It was a really good group. They all clicked. We just played a really good style of rugby, and it was just a shame we didn't get more out of that crew. They didn't get more success.
Yeah. But anyway, Mums is back now.
He's back now, which was good. Yeah, good. Giving Kramer a hand. Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah.
Would you go back to coaching?
Oh, I don't think so. Kramer asked me a couple of years ago to help when he first started. I think that was last year. Was his first year, wasn't it? Yeah. And I went down to 1 or 2 sessions, but then things got a bit hard, mate, for me to get to it and stuff like that. Got some vision issues and hold me back with that sort of stuff. But I told him, look, I'm happy to help every once in a while, but they don't need me, mate. The way they're going.
And so with the vision and stuff, you don't mind talking about that?
No, not at all.
Because a player with such vision on the field, it's a what would you call it? An irony.
Yeah,
so to speak, you're unfortunately losing a bit of sight. And
stuff.
When did you find that out?
what am I? I'm 51 on Sunday, actually. So, yeah, so 10 years ago, I was 40. So I was 40 and I was diagnosed. There's a family history of it. My uncle had it he got it fairly early, and I just had a bit of trouble with vision one day and went and got checked, and they told me that I had that, but it's a slow progression too. So for the next, up until probably 2 years ago, so 8 years or so, I was fine. Like, one eye went, but the other eye kept everything okay. But yeah, so it's at the point now where, I'm not driving and stuff like that. It's sort of, and I played a bit of touch footy still in certain divisions, so that's sort of hindered me a little bit now too. I'll still play in the Greens comp this year, I'll do that, but I don't play any of the other stuff now. I think that's beyond me. But yeah, it's like, look, it is what it is. There's worse. I'm happy talking about it. There's worse people out than me, but it's just, it's, as you said, for someone who loved, I still love being active and stuff like that. So that was.
You've got a bowling career now to worry about anyway. Talk about that.
Well, they've been unreal. They give me, bright coloured balls and, someone down the other end with a rag. So, look, it is, basically what it is, I'm losing my central vision, but I keep my peripherals. So if anyone sees me in the street and I don't wave, that's why. I'm not being rude. Or I just wave to everyone. I just do the opposite way. She's super friendly. Who's that? I say that to Jade, my partner, all the time. She usually sort of says, this is so-and-so, and I just wave. I've done it so many times. I did it all Westfield the other day. I was coming up the escalator and there was a bloke I thought I used to work with. And I was going, hey, Stan, how are you? And he got up a bit closer and I was like, that's not Stan.
That's such a bad name earlier too.
It is too. There's not many Stans here. Not many Stanleys in the world. But yeah, look, it is what it is. And yeah, look, it's not. Well, you don't go fully black blind, but it just makes it a little bit difficult. But yeah, no, all good, mate.
Yeah, you said you played touch footy. Did you play for Australia?
Long ago? 2019 was the last time. My last World Cup, I went over to Malaysia and played in that. Yeah, and we won that, played New Zealand in the final. That was good fun.
Was Josh in that?
Josh, back? No, he was, Josh, my cousin, he played in the one before 4 years, but he was living in the UK. He's back over there now, so he hasn't played for a little while because he's back over there.
So your cousins are talented touch footy players. Obviously, you are. Matty Russell, wouldn't say Luke, but
Luke, you went all right too.
So all that stuff as well. I mean, people probably don't realise that you have played for Australia and represented Australia in the touch football. Talk us through some of that stuff.
Yeah, that's good fun. Like, it keeps you active, and look, if anything, it probably helped my rugby more than anything too. Because at this stage, between when I moved from up the bay down to here, or before I started playing with the Greens, I probably had a year or two where I didn't play any footy, so I just played touch footy, and it did. Like, seriously, it helped. It helped my game massively in the fact that you for your vision and just finding space and just keeping the ball alive and stuff like that. And like I said, Matty and Jono and Jacko and that were here as well, and
they're all touch footy players.
And they'd had a background in it too, so it really did help, and we had a good combination. But it was good fun, and the trips away are unreal. I mean, like, I got to go to Scotland for it, I got to go to Malaysia with it, and obviously State of Origins every 2 years. We go to Queensland, they come down here, so just good fun. It's like team sport.
Are they probably as crazy as what's the
they'd be as weird, would they be?
There's some oddballs. Especially the Sydney blokes, they're a bit crazy, but they're all right. But yeah, look, it's a bit harder because you do with that sort of rep stuff, you sort of like your mates here, blokes you might play sport with locally as well, but the other blokes you meet at that higher level, you're only catching up with them. You got a bit of a lead up, and then you have a massive big blowout at the end of it after the tournament where you're probably only one day with them, but you have a massive night. Or if you're overseas on those trips, you'll do a couple because you're there for a bit. But yeah, mate, look, it's like any team sport. It's good fun. But every sport's got their oddballs.
I didn't know touch footy in Scotland. Is it big in Scotland?
Well, they're getting pretty. Look, the European countries are getting stronger at it. They're getting better. Look, most of the finals are Australia, New Zealand still. All the time.
Okay.
Yeah, but South Africa are okay, and England and Scotland getting better. Yeah. But they're a long way off it. But But look, it's
and do the rules different over there? Do they play more like a rugby, or is it just
same rules? Yep, all the rules are the same.
Run and dump.
Yep,
all the stuff I love.
Yep, all that stuff that I love forward. That's right.
Do you have any fond memories of the old green room? Any?
They've all been said, Pug, I reckon. Like when you listen to Monk and Camo and some of those other guys speak, it's those times where, the mopeds jumping over people and like when we first started, they talk about them a bit. Yeah, I know, it's the best. But when they used to, like when I first started playing here, I lived on the corner of Frederick and Robert. That's where I moved, so it was pretty handy. No, other end, Frederick Street and Robert Street. Yep. So there's a mansion on it now, but it was a little house there. So I moved in there, and so basically I'm 100 metres from here. And Wednesday, like we train Monday, Wednesdays, and every they've talked about it. End of the month kegs were just massive, and I missed that many Thursdays at work because of it, because they just got big. Like you go and have a couple, and they'd have the boiled potatoes, you'd eat them, then you go down the Burwood, and then suddenly we'd be there forever, and then some idiot say, let's go to town, and we're like, yeah, and we do that, and then I wouldn't see work on Thursday, and that happened quite a bit, but that was just good times.
Is that when you worked in the government though? So
we've always worked in the government. No. Well, I had to get one, but I had a good doctor,
You started working from home before working from home was a thing.
Yeah, that's right. I used to have to organise to try and get sick on the Wednesday just so I could, get the certificate for Thursday. So I'd lead into it. But yeah, they were, like I said, I don't think there's any. Yeah, those nights were just good fun, and they were really impromptu. Like they weren't meant to be big, but they ended up being big. So some of those midweek ones I remember just as much as any weekend after a game.
Yeah, midweek runs were always awesome. Whether it be green room or just going to the zoo after, or remember the old RSL.
Yeah. They would snowball. They would just snowball.
It would just.
Well, Sunday Arvos.
Next thing you're not home till Saturday morning before kickoff. It's crazy.
That's right. And that happened a bit. Yeah, but Saturday, 3:00 kickoff too. That helped. But that RSL on Sunday Arvos was so much fun.
Yeah,
that was just a really good. It was just pretty much a lot of the club there.
Yep,
just having a good time.
It took me 4 days to walk home to Windsor Street once from the Burwood.
Speaking of vendors, you had a great house guest who's a big fan of the show. He's good friends of ours. He lived with you for a while.
He did, yeah. He lived in the flat out the back. Yeah,
it's 4 or 5 years, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know if it was that long. Yeah. No, it might have only just spent. I don't think it got to 3. It might have been 2 years that he was there. Maybe a little bit longer.
Did the boys drive him out?
I don't think so. I think they were sad he left because they got
Some of the pranks are all time.
Can you tell us some of these?
Of course, we're talking about Smooth Gary as well.
Yeah. So Smooth lived in. I had a granny flat out the back of my house over at Adamstown Heights, and my boys at the time were probably they were probably early teens. Early teens, and little scallywags as you call it. And they what they do, we found a dead snake in the backyard. They put it in his shoe at his door. They glad wrapped his door about head height.
That's the best one.
They put a lot of effort into that, and I didn't know they did that. And then they put that head height.
And he come home late at night.
Late at night, opened the screen door, and he's toe-danging himself with that. They put spiders. He hates spiders. They put them in his car because he never locked his car. And it was just it was poor. I had to pull him up once. So I said, "You're getting cruel, boys. You're playing on his favourites."
The dead snake would have been enough for me.
Yeah,
it's like having an older brother, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and they tip water on him from the top. He'd sit downstairs and have a smoke on the bench seat under us, and they tip water on him from the balcony. But he got him back because Nathan's bedroom was down near where opposite there was like a deck separating the house. So it was separated, but Smooth he'd sit out there and have a smoke and have a chat to himself for about an hour and a half. So Nathan couldn't get any sleep. So he'd learned a lot but he couldn't sleep. But it was mate. It was entertaining time. They liked it. They were pretty sad when he went. Oh, was it?
He's a good man.
He is a good man.
Love him.
So you've obviously got the kids. They never played rugby.
No, they didn't, mate. They didn't. And every year they would say, like, "Oh, we'll have a game." But I think they were just doing it because I was involved. So no, mate. They play local football. I got a call. I get in trouble if I call it soccer. Yeah. They play local football, and Nath's pretty handy. Yeah, he's playing a bit of first grade at the moment.
Yeah, who's he playing for?
He's with Rosebud at the moment. Yeah. So he's been there for a couple of years, and Coop's playing just all age with his mates at Katara and having a good time. So he's looking to travel. So
yeah, cool. And you've done a bit of travelling yourself as well.
Yeah, I have. Taylor, my daughter, she's a horse rider. She was a good netballer, but she pulled the pin on that. She's riding horses, and she's back in town now. So yeah.
What, track work?
No.
He's prick up. You see him prick up.
No, Pug. She's nearly 6 foot, mate. So there's no jockey there.
They're all taller than you now.
She's into the equestrian. Coop is. No, Taylor and Nate haven't got me, but no. So she's into the equestrian, the eventing and that, mate. Yeah, so she's right into that. So, yeah, they're all going good.
We've had a few old horses go to the equestrian.
She's had a few ex-race horses, mate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any of ours?
No. Don't think so. No.
Are you in the Greens horse?
No.
Didn't get asked like me.
No, I did get asked, but I don't know what happened.
I asked him before I asked you.
I don't know what happened there, but yeah.
It's just come back into pre-season, into pre-work.
I backed it. I actually backed it.
Yeah, I backed it as well. When it came, it was a good second. One of the best seconds I've seen, by the way.
Probably got as much money as them anyway. There's $1 million in it, but yeah, no, we did back it. Yeah, so we'll follow it, mate.
Yeah, next year, mate, it's going to be big.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess the next sort of questions we like to ask: who's the best player you played with, or and against?
Oh,
we haven't played together, did we?
No, we didn't. No, we haven't. Oh, look, I would say probably Steve Merrick.
Yep.
The best I've played with.
Yeah.
Like, I credit him with probably, mate, he got me into the country team.
Yeah.
Like, I went okay, but I went away we went away to a country camp, and I was lucky. It was myself and Scott Dalabozek were the fullbacks.
Yep.
And Scotty was a good player too.
Yeah,
Dipper was a good player, and they put him on the opposite team. It was like two teams, and Steve was my halfback, and Dipper was on the other team. So they played together forever. So I just tried to, he'd take a quick tap, and I'd just be off his shoulder. He was lightning over 20, and then he just offload, and then I credit him with getting me into that sort of stuff. So he would probably be the best. But in that countryside as well that we had a bloke called Scott Faber, who ended up playing for the Wallabies and being a pretty good player. And he was only a kid at that stage. I think he was maybe even 18 or 19, but you could just tell then he was class as well, and he cut the trial up. So he was probably, I'd probably say Steve, because I played with him and against him a lot more. But yeah,
and best player you played against, you reckon?
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah, definitely.
What about from the club?
Oh, from the club. Probably Jono, probably Wayne Johnston.
Yeah,
I think. I think so. I think Jono, and look, people will laugh too, but like Matty Russell was great for me too as a fullback, and he played on the wing, and just the combinations we had. He was a winger, but he had good vision. I think it was a touch footy as well too, so he was handy. But I think Jono could just change a game, and they just couldn't tackle him. It was just bizarre. He'd do what everyone else did, but he just had good feet, and he was just a good player.
Yeah.
And he was too good at this stage for that comp. He'd just come back from the Broncos, his shoulder was stuffed, so he'd been playing a fair level.
Oh, was he? Yeah, he played for.
Yeah, and look, he's been back at a few things with us this year. And it's been good to see him come back. Because he's obviously been living out at Cameron Park, and he's involved out there with the touch footy. Him and his wife are pretty full on with Walls End touch footy.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to get him back to all these reunions and stuff, and he's turned up this year, and he's come to a few of them.
He came to Old Boys Day, I think.
Yep, he did. He came. We were all away for that one. He turned up too, so that was good. So it's good, mate, when we're trying to get all those older fellas back involved too, and leading into that, Camo Hainsworth's done a really good thing with that Carlton Alive that he started up now too. That's just snowballed on
great,
WhatsApp.
isn't it?
Oh, it's so good, mate, and that's what we spoke about. And the reason that's come about too is because Camo's obviously spoke to Mousy about it. Someone from another generation. But even with the passing of Laney, our mate Steve Lane, at 58, we're not at the age where we're going to too many funerals. But that's when we get to those blokes in their 70s and 80s are only meeting in funerals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We run into guys, after Laney's and said, look, we can't keep doing this.
No,
let's have a day where if it's 4 times a year, let's do it. Don't make it annually, because if it's once a year, then someone misses. They've got to wait 12 months. So if we do it every quarter, and I think Camo's got one lined up on the 27th at the bowler. 27th of November.
It's going to be a ripper. Make sure you get there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, do yourself a favour.
that WhatsApp group is just every morning someone else has added.
There's a few hundred on there.
Oh, easy. I think I had a look the other day because he's mainly an admin now. Yeah, it's about 132, I think.
Yeah, wow.
And that'll grow. He's adding people every day.
Yeah.
So,
it's a great idea. Ange and that.
Yep, Ange and Goldie.
Great stories.
And I saw Beck Young's on it now too. And that's right. They've got good. And all the stories, that's great. And that's what it's about too. Keeping that sort of culture alive and letting these younger guys know that there's, there's history before them, and they're as crazy or crazier than they are. So.
There's some good little bits of banter on there.
Yeah, it's good.
Tomorrow, you're going to get down the game tomorrow, obviously. obviously.
I am.
Yeah.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Third grade, how do you...
Yeah, well, I haven't seen much of third grade, but obviously they finished first, so they've been, they won the major semi. So, but it's it's Wanderers, it's the arch enemy, so it's always going to be a tight tussle. But yeah, mate, I'm confident they'll do it.
And,
backing us.
And first grade?
Yeah, I like first. Their game two weeks ago, like I think everyone knows they were lucky to get out of jail there, and I think Hamo might have even left a few points on the field. But like to our guys' credit, they just stayed in the game. Like they were playing pretty ordinary, but they stayed in the game, and that's the key. I think if you can play bad and still be hanging on, I think they didn't have to fall over the line. But I just think that's probably the kick up the arse they probably needed leading into this one.
Complacent. They just looked complacent. They weren't getting to break.
Probably complacent and a little bit. I don't know.
First half they bombed us.
Maybe a little bit of stage fright at times because it's a young team too, and it's a first. We haven't been in a GF for a while, and it's a big occasion. But look, mate, they stood up, and I'm looking forward to it. It's just good to have, like I said, as an old boy, it's good to have a team back in. You love winning those lower grades, but you want a team in first grade. You want a team in first grade. So,
I've been telling people because with the prospect of us having 3 teams in, which the second grade went down last week, pretty much the same way we won the week before. Yeah, I've been telling people to stay clear of the 2291. This weekend. They've already been. I said, just if you've got somewhere to go, just go somewhere else.
That's right. Yeah,
that's right. I couldn't get a motel.
Couldn't you?
Oh, really?
It was great. There's green banners everywhere. There's the old
your place.
the sacred site of the old Henny Penny Merryweather's got a greens banner up.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one on the Prince. There's one.
Yeah, I saw the Prince one. There's someone on someone's house.
Yeah, Scenic Drive up there. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, and the community get behind it too. It'll be a good crowd. If you see green, and we're over. I suppose we'll be over on that opposite hill as well. So
it's going to be
Jockey's getting there early to set up some marquees. Jockey's getting there at about 7 o'clock to set up a few.
That's good.
Marquees over on that hill.
Yeah, no, it's a good exciting day. Even
make sure you get to the game. It's $20 a ticket, but it's well worth the money.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can listen to you.
Yes, you can listen to us on Bar TV Sports.
I'm just going to listen to you while I watch the game, like the old boys.
Get a better insight.
The old transistor.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Just that.
You get the players' names wrong. I may as well have his eyes.
Well, with that, we've come to the best question.
Grand final weekend. Should we make it more grand final? It's Wednesday after a grand final. There's an impromptu trip away. You've got to pick. Me and Pugger are coming.
Yep.
But you've got to pick 3 people to head, let's say, to the casino in Sydney. Who are you picking? After drinking from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Oh yeah, that'd be last man standing. I just picked 3 people who were still going by then. Who would I pick? I probably would take Russell. Yeah, I would take Matt because he's entertaining. We need someone to laugh at
someone
too.
Needs a Band-Aid as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's always he's close. He's a walking chemist, so that'd be good. No, you don't know that story?
No.
Yeah, there's a story about when he was playing first grade one day, and he took his shirt off. Blokes were getting strapped and everything, and they noticed Matt had band-aids on his nipples.
Shirt
he got caught. He said the old shirt was chafing the nipples. So he's never lived it down. I think he gets Laney used to call him Iron Nipples like that as a nickname. So, and apparently went downstairs when we presented the jerseys to first grade on Laney's day here. I think he presented his jersey to Jack Miller and gave him band-aids with the jersey. That was a nice little touch.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so I'd say I'd have to take him. Who else would I take? If it's a 3 day, if it's a bender like that, and we're still going, then it probably has to be Dane Cordner.
Yes.
I know.
He's come to a few, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll turn up at some stage this weekend.
No, this is the longevity of it. If it was early days, he might not have made the cut, but he's in if it's that long. And the third one, I'll probably take Billy Dunn because he'll still be there.
The little engine.
And I don't mind having a beer with Bill. Too emotional. Maybe that's too long. I would have had enough by then too. I still have nightmares about counselling him at the beaches that night. He got his tongue pierced and he had his tongue in a glass of ice. But I told that story on that Carlton Live the other day where he was like, within 5 minutes, he was down in the dumps about his tattoo and his tongue ring, and 5 minutes later, tongue out of the ice and dancing on the dance floor. Yeah, got the ballet moves out again.
What prompted him to get that?
Well, you'd have to ask Jode. Has Jode been on?
We did have him, but we
haven't had him for a while. I haven't done it with him.
But we had him and Merv on last year, I think. Me and Jonesy.
No,
that story never came up, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let him tell that one too. But he did. No, that was on a trip to Sydney. I don't know who he was with down there. I don't even know if it was with guys from footy. But yeah, he had a pretty good, pretty fun time. And yeah.
Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
No worries at all, guys.
This is one of the ones I was looking forward to. So not that I wasn't looking forward to all of them, but we thank everyone throughout the year coming on.
We had a good chat about our Malabula mates.
Yeah.
Go with drinks with a few of them out in the Seabreeze.
Yeah, the Seabreeze.
Oh,
yeah. He's turned to babysit.
Yeah, Scotty Pateman. Yeah, Scotty Pateman. You still don't know him. He knows you.
Anyway, all the best, Scotty.
Big fan of the show.
Massive fan of the show. Yeah.
Good luck with the Greens this week.
Yeah, definitely.
First grade, second grade.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Go the Greens.
Huge.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah, can't wait.
Funny, I could have got a motel.
Yeah, well.
Surely you've got a mattress.
I'm not even staying. I'm not even probably going home.
Oh, really?
No, I've told Leah.
If I had the flat still involved,
Yeah.
Go stay with Smooth.
Yeah, maybe.
You'll have it.
I know you will.
See you later.
All right, thanks, guys. Thank you.